When most people hear the word sweet, they instantly think of danger, especially if they've been told they have diabetes or are at risk of it. For decades, seniors have been warned that sweetness is the enemy, that fruit is little more than nature's candy, something to fear and avoid. Yet here's the twist. Some of the very fruits you've been told to stay away from may, in fact, hold the keys to steadier blood sugar, more energy, and even greater comfort in your joints and mind. Imagine strawberries, grapes, or even mangoes not as villains, but as gentle allies. That's the hidden truth we're going to explore together today. I'm Dr. Brian, and welcome to Channel Ageless Garden. This is the place where science, stories, and hope come together to remind you that healing is possible at any age. When I think about how fear of food takes hold, I often remember a patient of mine named Eleanor. She was 74 when she came into my office, shoulders slumped, her food journal clutched in her hand like a report card. She whispered, almost ashamed, "Dr. Brian, I ate half a bowl of grapes last week, and I'm afraid I've ruined everything." Her numbers had been creeping up, but it wasn't the grapes that caused her trouble. It was the stress, the loneliness, and the processed snacks she reached for instead. Grapes had become the scapegoat, while the real culprits stayed hidden in the shadows. Eleanor's story is not unique. All across the world, older adults are told to treat sweet fruit as poison. But today we're going to reclaim 5 of them, one by one, and see why these foods are not enemies, but old friends returning to comfort us. Let's begin with strawberries. Think back to the last time you held one in your hand. That tiny heart-shaped fruit bursting with red is more than nostalgia. The deep red comes from a compound called anthocyanin, which acts like a gentle traffic guard inside your body. Instead of letting sugar rush into your bloodstream all at once, it slows the process down, guiding each molecule to enter at a steadier pace. This means no wild sugar roller coaster, just a gentle rise and fall. And here's the part many seniors love most. Strawberries fight inflammation. If you've ever woken up with knees that creak or fingers that ache, those berries are doing more than delighting your tongue. They're soothing your joints. One woman told me she began slicing strawberries into her morning oatmeal, and not only did she feel lighter, but her morning stiffness became easier to bear. Science supports this too. A study published in the journal Nutrients found that older adults who consumed strawberries regularly had improved markers of inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which are closely tied to blood sugar control. Imagine a handful of strawberries not as forbidden fruit, but as a daily gift, a bite of childhood summer that also guards your health. Now let's walk into the vineyard of memory and talk about grapes. Grapes are often misunderstood, their sweetness mistaken for danger. But beneath their thin skins lies resveratrol, a plant compound with extraordinary power. Resveratrol works like a key, helping unlock the doors of your cells so insulin can guide sugar inside more smoothly. For seniors whose insulin sensitivity often weakens with age, this is a game changer. Eleanor, the patient I mentioned earlier, discovered that when she ate grapes slowly, pairing them with a handful of walnuts, her blood sugar hardly moved. More importantly, she stopped punishing herself for craving them. Grapes also fight the invisible wear and tear we call oxidative stress, the slow rusting of the body that contributes to fatigue, memory lapses, and pain. When you eat grapes mindfully, you're not just enjoying sweetness, you're protecting your memory and energy. And here's a practical tip. Freezing grapes turns them into tiny jewels of refreshment, perfect for a hot afternoon. They're nature's answer to ice cream, with none of the crash afterward. Next comes a fruit so ordinary it often gets overlooked, the apple. There's an old saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. In truth, I'd say it keeps the swings and crashes away. The magic lies in pectin, a type of soluble fiber that acts like a sponge in your digestive system. Picture sugar trying to race down a slippery slide into your bloodstream. Pectin lays down a towel, slowing the ride, making the sugar trickle in instead of pour. This means a gentle rise in energy instead of a burst followed by exhaustion. For many of my patients, the apple is less about science and more about comfort. The crisp bite, the smell of autumn, the memory of packed school lunches, they remind us that food is not just fuel, it's memory. One man in his late 60s told me he started baking apples with cinnamon as an evening ritual. It wasn't just dessert, it was a way to end his day with warmth and steadiness. Apples are also champions of digestion, gently sweeping through the gut and helping older adults avoid uncomfortable remedies. It's remarkable how one simple fruit, so common it sits ignored in fruit bowls, can quietly become a daily medicine. Now let's travel further south, into the golden tropics, where mangoes grow heavy on branches. Mangoes have long been painted as dangerous for diabetics, too sweet, too risky. And yet, when eaten with wisdom, mangoes are not the villains we've been told they are. They contain fiber, which balances their natural sugar. They carry vitamins C and A, which strengthen immunity, sharpen vision, and support skin health. They're also rich in antioxidants that fight inflammation in the brain, a hidden ally against cognitive decline. But mangoes bring something even more powerful: joy. I remember a patient named Jorge, originally from the Philippines, who told me he hadn't tasted mangoes in years because of fear. When I explained how to pair them with almonds or yogurt, he tried again. The first bite, he said, was like going home. His eyes filled with tears as he described the memories rushing back. Family gatherings, laughter, the smell of saltwater air. For Jorge, mango wasn't just fruit. It was healing for the heart. That emotional nourishment matters, because health isn't only about numbers on a chart, it's about feeling alive, feeling whole, feeling joy. Finally, let's peel open the orange. There's something almost sacred about the ritual, the burst of citrus scent, the way each segment separates in your hand. For many seniors, oranges bring back childhood, holiday baskets, or winter mornings. But too often, oranges have been lumped into the too much sugar pile. The real culprit isn't the fruit itself, but the juice. Juice strips away the fiber, delivering sugar to your bloodstream like a floodgate opening. A whole orange, though, is an entirely different experience. The thin membranes between each slice act like gentle gates, slowing sugar's entry, keeping your body steady. Oranges also deliver vitamin C, that timeless guardian of immunity, and potassium, which eases blood pressure and supports the heart. I once recommended an afternoon ritual to a widowed man in his 70s. Peel an orange slowly, without distraction, and eat it with a boiled egg. Weeks later, he told me the ritual had become his anchor, a simple act that gave him both nourishment and peace. That's the hidden gift of fruit. Not just the nutrients, but the moments of mindfulness they create. Together, these 5 fruits, strawberries, grapes, apples, mangoes, and oranges, are not forbidden luxuries, but companions. They carry not only antioxidants and fiber, but stories, traditions, and emotions. Each bite is a bridge to steadier blood sugar, to softer joints, to clearer memories, and to the joy that makes health worth fighting for. Now, while these 5 fruits are allies, there are others that deserve caution. Fruit juice, for instance, may look innocent in a glass, but without fiber, it strikes the bloodstream like a wave crashing through a dam, spiking sugar just as soda does. Dried fruits, so tiny and sweet, are deceptive too. Just a handful can pack the sugar load of several whole fruits. Overripe bananas or similar fruits shift from starch to sugar, giving your body more than it needs at once. And large servings of pineapple or watermelon, though refreshing, can overwhelm aging systems quickly. Eating fruit safely isn't about fear, it's about strategy and mindfulness. Pairing fruit with a bit of protein or healthy fat, like nuts, yogurt, or cheese, slows sugar absorption and steadies energy. Portion and pace matter. A few bites savored slowly often do more for satisfaction than a large hurried serving. Timing is also key. Mornings and early afternoons are ideal, giving your body time to process natural sugars through movement and daily activity. And most importantly, listen to your body. Pay attention to how you feel after eating and adjust portions, pairings, and timing to support your unique needs. Natural sweetness is not the enemy, and these 5 fruits, strawberries, grapes, apples, mangoes, and oranges, can nourish your body, mind, and spirit. When eaten mindfully, they help restore steady blood sugar, improve digestion, and reconnect you with joy and memories that matter. Start with just one fruit. Make it a gentle daily ritual, and let each bite remind you that health is built from small, consistent choices. It's never too late to reclaim energy, independence, and confidence in your body. Subscribe, share, and honor yourself with care because every thoughtful choice brings lasting wellness.